Those of you who've been with us through the program know that I talked early in the program about our military being powerful and resourceful, but it's stretched very thin, that we are as a country, as a people, as a society, on the razor's edge of danger in a lot of places now. We're counting on what is a relatively small military. And I know there are people in the audience going to say, what's Dan Rather talking about, a relatively small military? But compared with, say, a country such as China, the number of people we have under arms is smaller. Now, we depend on our technological advantage, all of that. But the thought occurs that so often we just read in the newspaper or watch on television, see something like these cruise missiles, these Tomahawk missiles being fired off a destroyer into Syria, and we ooh and ah, and we take it for granted. By the way, this is an aside, but I was disappointed because several people on television said about the firings of those Tomahawk missiles into Syria that they were fired off big ships. In fact, one television analyst, actually was an anchor person, said they're huge ships. Well, folks, these are not huge ships. These things were fired off destroyers, is my understanding. A destroyer is not a very big ship. Keep in mind it goes destroyer, cruisers, aircraft carriers, battleships. So anyway, but take the aside away from it. We take an awful lot for granted. And one of the reasons is because we have a professional military these days. That is, everybody in the military is there on a voluntary basis because they have to be. So it's so easy to take them for granted. And this is just, I wouldn't say a plea, but just a reminder that it's not something we should take for granted. Because on those destroyers, on those ships at sea, this carrier task force is headed now, a new carrier task force off the coast of North Korea, and in the wilds of Afghanistan, where the war still rages in a forgotten war, that everybody in one of those uniforms is somebody's husband, mother, brother, sister, cousin, somebody. It's somebody's close relative. And one of the things that often happens in Washington is the people who make decisions about going to war or making warlike acts are not people who have anybody in the first circle from the family in the military. This is an ongoing problem. It's not something that's unique to this administration, the Trump administration. It's just one of the facts of American life in, let's say, the last quarter of a century plus. That because we've gone to an all-volunteer military force, it's very easy for people to say, well, that's their job, I don't need to worry about it, and take for granted these people who are fighting and dying in these far-flung places. Did you notice this last week? Well, a small thing in the newspaper, should have been front page, but another member of the Special Forces fighting in a very remote area of Afghanistan died. Small thing, because Afghanistan's the forgotten war. But we have people in peril. We have put them there. And this is just a small suggestion, a reminder not to forget that they're there, and they're serving us. And that war is such a brutal, such a savage undertaking. Limited war, I hate the phrase limited war, because no war is limited. But at any rate, with those thoughts in mind, let's just pause for a second and think about all those people who are in uniform, serving in faraway places and dangerous places. And we'll go out today with Anchors Aweigh. Appreciate you being with us here on Dan Rather's America. Always appreciate you tuning in on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Programs repeated during the week. So until next week, Dan Rather, wishing you good luck, Godspeed. We'll see you along the trail.